Incorporated, and welcome to another edition of What Is Next. So this one's going to be a bit different to what I usually do. I'm not just going to be looking at the matches that have happened and who won and what I think of that. Basically what I'm going to do is be kind of ranting a little bit on NXT, so get prepared for that. So basically what I wanted to outline was that before NXT there was obviously FCW and OVW, and they were strictly developmental territories for WWE. So people like John Cena, Randy Orton, Batista were trained up to a point where they were ready for the main programming, right? So you didn't see or hear of them before they were debuted on TV, and that's essentially how you would want to bring someone out. But unfortunately what has happened with NXT is that it's become a third brand essentially, which, I mean, there's good and there's bad. I mean, the NXT superstars are getting a lot more exposure before they make it to the main roster, so in a sense they're well established when they get to the main roster. But unfortunately the gaps in NXT are so great that half of the roster is just kind of treading water, hoping to get called up for something different. So your people like your Finn Balor's, your Samoa Joe's, your Kevin Owens, those kind of people have been put in NXT and essentially fast-tracked to the main roster just because they're 10 plus year veterans and they're ready now, really. But unfortunately what that's done for other people on the roster, like your Tyler Breeze, your Bull Dempsey's, and women's division, probably your Eva Marie's, is that it's made them look really bad on a grand scale before they get to the main roster. So, I mean, people like Eva Marie forgot to kick out in her match against Billie Kay a couple of weeks ago. And unfortunately, everyone saw that. And, I mean, obviously we know that pro wrestling, the results are decided on beforehand, it's scripted, it's predetermined, and if you didn't know that, I'm very sorry. Also, Santa Claus doesn't exist. So, essentially, they've created an environment where half of their roster looks fantastic, half of their roster looks like crap. So, I mean, it's good for the top stars, like I said, but there's people in NXT that are just kind of treading water. Carmella, Eva Marie, as I've said, Bull Dempsey, Elias Sampson's been around for a long time and he's not gotten any further. Tyler Breeze has been in NXT for years and really should have been called up by now. But yeah, so that's essentially what I was going to rant on, is that developmental should be kept on a small scale so that it isn't seen, it isn't known in your future career on the main roster. Also, there's a few decisions I wasn't entirely happy with, like in the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic, the Ascension was brought back to NXT to face Baron Corbin and Rhino. Now, the Ascension have been booked as the most dominant tag team in NXT history, because on paper they actually are the most dominant tag team in NXT history. Like, they're the longest reigning tag team champions, and to be honest, there was no down point of their push in NXT. Now, them on the main roster, that's another thing. But if they get brought back to NXT, they should be made to look good. And the team of Baron Corbin and Rhino was just set up a feud between the two. Now, this is just me, but I think that feud could have been set up regardless of whether the Ascension lost or whether they didn't. And honestly, I think that it was a better opportunity for Baron Corbin and Rhino to not work well as a tag team, so therefore setting up the feud. So there's a few booking decisions that I thought were a little bit off, and to be honest, I mean, NXT is a double-edged sword. it's great to be like, here's our up and coming talent, you know, get excited for the future. But then on the other end of it is people who are just losing on a regular basis in NXT, not developing their character all that much, and it's not preparing them for the main roster, and that's if they get there. So, I mean, I'm a big fan of NXT, I love the show, but like I said, it's a double-edged sword. So, I mean, that's essentially what I wanted to rant on, is that developmental has been turned into a third brand, and it's hurting some people while it's helping others. But, I mean, that's unfortunately what they've done now. So, yeah, leave a comment on your thoughts of it. Like, rate, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I will see you in future for some more videos. Have a nice day.